Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to take you through a full week of dieting on my low calorie diet. Now, my macros aren't going to be specific in terms of hitting my required protein intake. I have a condition with my stomach at the moment, which I'm getting checked out. But for the purpose of my diet I'm just trying to keep it low calories. My exercise is going to be very moderate. And I'm just going to give you an entire week of what I am eating at the moment. Now, before we get started, make sure you smash the like button. Hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this to help you get leaner, better, faster results. And let's get started.
Morning guys, so the very first thing I always have every morning is coffee. Now at the moment, because I can't have actual coffee, I'll have just a decaf or instant decaf coffee. Now pro tip, if this is the first time you're ever measuring anything, especially with a coffee, and if you have the same thing every single morning, you just need to do this once. All right, so you would pop it on the scale, you would turn this on, there we go. So to measure your sugar, you would simply take a teaspoon of sugar, pardon the mess, measure it. So you now know that on average it's about 6 grams per teaspoon. So you would add in 2, okay? So it's about 12 grams, 13 grams every single time I have a coffee. So what you then need to do is just make sure that you use the same measurement every single time you put that into your MyFitnessPal. And the coffee you don't really need to measure, but just for argument's sake, I'm putting that in there for you anyway. And then it's just simply hot water. And then usually this will just be about half for me, which is about there. And that's it. So I don't have any milk or anything like that. That's usually just my morning get me going, even though it doesn't actually contain caffeine. And then usually I'll have 2 of these in the morning. So obviously if I make another one, I'm going to record that and show that for you. And I'll show you what else I have with breakfast too. So at the moment, due to my stomach, I'm only having Carmen bars in the morning or possibly a piece of fruit. And this comes down to, I think, 183 calories. So I'd have usually this and then 2 coffees in the morning, and that really doesn't change. So as you see through the days, as we go through the days, this is pretty much going to be a standard breakfast almost every single morning. And this makes life much easier as well, because that means you just need to copy and paste the same breakfast every single morning.
Now, pro tip, when you're putting, say, something like ham or something like that onto like your sandwich, or let's say you're having Slatter's cheese and tomato like I am, you would pop this on first, so this is at 0, and then you would take out the amount of ham that you would like to have. And then it's going to give you a minus number. Say for example, minus 20. That means you currently have 20 grams of ham on that product or that sandwich or whatever you're making. So this just makes life a little bit easier when you're tracking these sorts of things. So as you can see, I've got 72 grams of ham, and it's very easily just to take a bit extra and just start eating it straight out the tub. But no, we're not going to do that, because all of that adds calories and most people don't track that once that's in. So only eat what you actually put on the plate. Don't snack on the little bits on the side. There you have it. So we've got about 3 slices of tomato. So I ended up using about a half of a tomato, so medium to small size. And I'll have the calories on the screen for you, so it gives you a rough idea of protein and total calories for lunch. But it is a bit of a late lunch for me, so this will probably carry me through until the afternoon, probably sometime 7 o'clock at night. And then with this, I'll probably have like a Pepsi Max or some sort of, sugar-free soda drink that goes along with this. All right, see you in the next meal. Alright, so we're doing dinner, and we've got the pre-marinated chicken souvlaki strips. This is just from Coles. And then I'm going to be having just a salad, so just be lettuce, tomato, onion. Whereas, for example, my wife would be having a wrap. So I'm just cutting back on calories, so I won't have the wrap. And it's basically like an open souvlaki. So we're literally just going to cook the meat, pop it straight in. I did prepare both of these separately because I thought I was going to be doing this one by myself, but we're not. We're cooking together. And then each of these are 250 grams of chicken each. So obviously we'll just cook the whole lot, and then we'll just divide it by 2, and there'll be 2 servings. Or you can possibly get more servings out of it, but my serving would equate to about half of the actual serve you get from the container. And then that's dinner, so that's about 250 grams of chicken pre-marinated with just onions, lettuce, tomato. Obviously you can put some other things in. We've got the tzatziki dip, which would have added more calories, but that just means I'll be lower, which is okay. And then this is dinner, and then I'll probably have some sort of small sweet snack later, which I'll show you as well. So we've got some calories left for some extra treats, lollies, whatever you like to call it. So we're going to take out 65 grams. Yes, you need to weigh this because this is probably the most important part. People go, oh, I'll just have a small handful of lollies. Yeah, that's about 66 grams. That right there is 220 calories. Just that little bit of extra treats after dinner. So you need to make sure every time you take something, especially things like this, that you weigh, track and measure it. The one benefit of calorie counting is you get to have anything you want as long as it fits your calories.
Morning guys, so day number 2, same thing for every single morning. So I'm going to be having coffee and a Carmen bar. Lunch might be the same thing, I haven't decided yet, depends on what I feel like and how my stomach goes. And then dinner is going to be the main thing that's going to vary up. So always try and plan your main meals in advance, especially dinners or social events, at least 2 to 3 days in advance, so you have a rough idea of what your calories are going to be. But we'll get on to the day.
Alright guys, the next meal is just going to be 4 eggs, just lightly cooked in the pan. So we'll literally just pop the pan on the heat. Now this is already measured out, so as you can see there's 5-6-ish grams of butter. And that's just going to go in. So I prefer butter than the oil spray, but either or, you know, whichever one you prefer. We're just going to grease that one up. And then that is done, so we're simply just going to pop those on top of each other, pop that straight into a bowl, and then to top that one off, I'm going to be using some chicken salt, so just a little bit on top. That's a little bit for me anyway. And then we're just going to cut it up into small pieces. And that's pretty much it. So 4 eggs for lunch, and then that will pretty much tie me through until dinner. Might have some fruit in between if I do. I'll obviously record that and show you as well. But this is about 230 to 50-ish calories for the 4 eggs. So meal number 3 is 4:57, basically 5 o'clock. Is we're having prawns. So this is like a pre-marinated prawn from John West. Can't remember the exact calories, but again, I'll pop it on the screen. And then because this is still quite sort of low in protein and calories, because I'm just getting a half a serve, so between me and my wife, I've also bought some calamari to go on the side. So I will basically just mix the calamari with the prawns so it sort of tastes the same. And then we're just basically gonna have a side of like steamed broccoli. So I'll show you how I steam broccoli within 5 minutes. You don't have to worry about boiling water or anything like that. Really simple. So I will get started on this and show you how we do it. So with the veggies, and you can use this with most veggies, but if you get just like a little steamer container and it's going to have the little pop lid like that one, all you're going to do is just cut the stalks off just so it's inside the container, You're gonna put a little bit of water in that, and then this is gonna go in the microwave, usually for 5 minutes, and that usually makes it so it's just a bit crunchy, but also soft enough to eat. So I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so there we go. So we're gonna put about maybe a half an inch or so of water in. So just give it a dash, that'll do. Then we pop the lid on, really simple. If I can do it with one hand. And then we just make sure that you pop the lid so the air can escape, like that. And you just bring them over to the microwave. We're going to set that on for 5 minutes on high. And that will be done soon. And then here is our broccoli. So very hot, be careful. And if you can see, straight in, perfectly steamed every single time. This is pretty much how we've done our broccoli for years. So we never ever have to boil anything anymore. So definitely recommend that everyone switches over to just steaming. And you can do this with corn or pretty much any vegetable that you could probably serve boiled. And that's pretty much it, guys. So broccoli and just some mixed seafood. That's probably about 270-ish calories. There's a little bit of olive oil that went into the pan, which I didn't record because it was too hard to do. And broccoli, if you obviously want to add some seasonings or dressings on top, you can. Just add that to your calories. But that's pretty much it. And then later on, I'll probably save some calories for some lollies or something sweet, just so I can have something while I sit down and watch some TV. So I'm going to sit down, eat this and enjoy, and I'll see you in the next portion. All right, so last meal snack of the day. So I picked up these roast seasoned Korean seaweed. These are nice, tasty, salty snack. These are about 30 calories each, so I'll have 2 of these, and then I'll follow that with something sweet, and that's 70 grams, I think it was. Yeah, 70 grams. That's about 200 calories. That's about 60 calories, and that will probably put me about 11-ish hundred calories for the day. And that's it. I do have more room for more calories if I feel like it, but this will probably be it. And that gets me about 1100, and then close shop, no more. So you just, once you finish for the day, you stop, that's it. And that's it, guys. So that was day 2, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 3. So today's breakfast is just gonna be a little bit different just because the weather is a bit crappy outside and I feel like having something a bit more warm. It's just going to be oats, which is a little bit of milk and a little bit of honey. So I like to have sweet oats with milk. It doesn't come to that many calories. And the good thing about using the pre-made sachets is their calories are set. So you can't really put more in unless you actually have to open a brand new packet. So I will put this together, show you what it looks like in the end, how to measure it all correctly, and obviously can't go without my decaf coffee. So let's get started. So the milk will go in first. Obviously you always weigh it, make sure it's accurate. Usually it's about 70 ml. And then that will go in the microwave, and then I'll pop on some honey after that. And I'll also measure the honey to make sure it's accurate too. So if it goes on the plate, you must measure it to make sure it's accurate. All right, so we're gonna take this out. We're gonna pop it back on the scale. Yeah, we finally got it. And then with the honey, we're just going to measure that as we pour it on. $10 grams, so 12 grams. Log that in your MyFitnessPal, and then you have an exact tracked meal. So meal number 2 on day 3, I think it is. So same as my first day, I think it was. Saladas, ham, cheese. This time I did have a little bit of extra ham because I was a little bit hungrier. So I ate some straight out of the container. And I put a little bit of butter on these because these were a little bit dry last time. But I have the calories to play with. I've banked some calories from the previous days. So I'm going to enjoy these. So we're up to meal number 3, and we're going to be having some barramundi skin on fillets by John West, so similar to the prawns, and then we're going to have a side of chips. So These are about the exact same calories for each portion. You can weigh that if you want to, but you literally just divide the package by 2. And then with the chips, you do want to make sure you weigh these. So you would pop this on the scale, or you can even get a bowl and pop it on the scale, turn it on. Now a lot of people, when they talk about I have to portion myself and cook separate meals for different people in the family, that sort of stuff, you don't have to. What, for example, we would usually do, if I'm being very strict on my calories, I would just take out my portion, which is going to be 125 grams. Okay, so let's say that's my portion. I would simply just set myself a portion and then just align it, a little bit more over to, say, the right hand side. And then if everyone else is having chips, I would put it on the left hand side. So at least you have some sort of idea of what your portion is going to be, while still everyone else can have whatever they feel like eating. So I'm going to set this up. My portion is going to be here. I'll ask Chloe how much she wants, and then we'll leave hers to the other side. And then we just know whatever's on the right side will be mine, vice versa. And then while this is cooking, this takes about 20 minutes. The last 10 minutes, we'll put the barramundi on, and it's as easy as that. So as this is going through the process, I'll show you how it all works, and I'll see you soon. Alright, so this is what it pretty much looks like. So my server's on the right, Chloe's server's on the left. Yes, she's eating more chips than I am, but I'm on a calorie deficit, not her. So she can eat whatever she feels like eating, and sometimes you just got to suck it up. There's nothing that you can do about it. The calories that you're on are the calories that you're on. No one's going to get the results except for you, and you sticking to your own food portions and your own calories. So the good thing is with calorie counting is you get to have anything you want as long as it fits your calories, but you have to weigh, measure, and track it. So this is going to go into the oven. That's just heating up. So we're going to pop that one in. And then once that's hit 10 minutes, we're going to put the fish on, and then we're good to go. Alright, so it's been 10 minutes, so we're going to take the barramundi. So you put the skin side down onto some oil. Usually make this a little bit hotter than what it currently is, but pop that in. Second one. So that's going to cook on about 10 minutes for medium heat. One side, or the skin side, is going to go crunchy. Flip it over, goes for about 2 to 3 minutes on the other side, then it'll be melting your mouth, fall apart, delicious. And then with this one, we do pop in a seasoning, which comes with the packet. So we've had a few, so I've got some extra. And then we'll add in some garlic as well, just before we actually take it off the pan, which I'll show you what that looks like as well. Alright, so that's just about ready to flip, and I'll show you what that looks like. So it should be nice and crunchy on one side, especially the skin side. You want to try and avoid flipping too much because it can start to break away and fall apart in the pan. We don't want that. Alright, so that's just been in there for a couple of minutes. I've just moved it to one side, and then what we're going to do is put a bit of garlic in. Now, garlic cooks really quick, especially if the pan's hot. So we're just going to try and squeeze out 2 blobs on one. The other side, we've got it. And then we're just going to pop the fish on top of the garlic. Yep. Shannon can do it with one hand, that'll be good. And the other one. Do it again. There we go. And then just squish it under. And you literally give that about 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and that just helps sort of give it some more garlic flavour. And then you'll have like a garlicky, crispy barramundi. Alright, so that's pretty much done. So we're going to take that off, plonk it on the plate. Same as the second one. Alright, and then we're going to get the chips out the oven. Alright, there we have it. So healthy, somewhat healthy fish and chips, oven baked, not deep fried, and a little bit of oil in the pan. The skin is fairly crispy, and then obviously the fish as well is cooked really good. So if you literally just touch it, it starts to fall apart. So that's how you know it's done. So that's it, that's dinner. And then later on I'll probably have, again, some lollies or something sweet to time me over. But I'll see you in the next part.
Alright, so Sundays are check-in days for my one-to-one clients on my online. So before I start, I think the time's about 10:30 at the moment. Same thing as yesterday, so I'm just going to have some oats, exactly the same portions as yesterday. I'll probably have a few more coffees, and I tend to not have lunch today. So if today's pretty short, it's just because I usually have breakfast, probably 2, 3, maybe even 4 coffees as I just do my one-to-one clients. Maybe a small snack, and then we'll usually have dinner later on. But that just means I get to have more calories for dinner. So I'll update you once that happens. All right, I'll see you in the next part. Coffee number 2, and then after I have this, we're going to be starting our online clients, which usually takes me a couple of hours. So even though there's no caffeine, let's just pretend there is. And I probably will have maybe 1 or 2 more of these. We will see. All right, so small snack. My stomach is starting to play up a little bit in terms of the acid. I had my appointments already gone, so I'm not really hungry, but I just need something in my stomach to digest. I don't really have any fruit or anything in this house, so I'm just going to have a couple of tiny teddies. I think it's about 50 calories or so for 2, or 50 calories per teddy, I can't remember. But just a bit of sugar and wheat, which tends to help in terms of just settle my stomach. So literally 2 of those, log that, small snack, and again, yeah, not eating for hunger's sake, more so for stomach purpose sake. Anyway, see you in the next one. So meal number 2, even though I'm not that hungry, my stomach isn't feeling the best, so I feel like I need something to be inside my stomach to help it. If that makes sense. So going with the usual favorite, so ham, cheese, tomato, a little bit of butter, and salada. I realize I've actually been saying I'm having 2 of these. I'm actually having 1.5. So 4 pieces would be 1 salada, and then 2. So for those in America, if you don't know what a salada is, it's just like basically like a dry biscuit. I don't know if you can see that. So having it because it's delicious, and also if I don't eat ham, the ham will probably go bad in the next couple of days. And then for dinner, we've already got like a quiche defrosting, so we'll chuck that into the oven, but I'm going to show you a trick. I'm actually not going to eat the pastry because the pastry is really, really high in calories, but I will show you that once we get to it. All right, I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next part. So this is dinner. So this was the quiche, so it come out like this, but we don't normally put the layer on top, so usually it looks a bit more like this. The puff pastry is actually really high in calories, so I won't eat the puff pastry just for calorie sake. We have pumpkin, bit of salad, and then Chloe, obviously, she has more than me, but she probably won't eat the entire dish. But that's pretty much dinner. Estimating probably about 400 calories-ish without the puff pastry. Pumpkin is really low in calories, and salad, again, is next to nothing as well. So if you're in the situation where you have to be social with other people and they serve you this, and you know that the puff pastry is going to be another 300 calories that you can't really afford, you don't have to eat it. Just eat the part that you can eat, and eat the part and make better choices, and just skip the parts that you don't need. So it's your journey, do what you need to do to get the results. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Probably will be a little bit of a snack later on tonight. Just my regular coffee, which is again decaf. So I'm just gonna fill that one up. So there we go. And I will probably do some work. I don't start till 12 o'clock today because our son is going to the dentist to get his teeth checked. And that's it. So breakfast, I might even have 2, maybe even 3 of these. And I'll see you when I have some lunch. And then last meal today is 3 eggs on toast, just because I don't really feel like having anything else, just easy. It's currently 8:11. And then top it off with Worcestershire sauce. If you haven't had it, you have to try it. It's delicious. Maybe it's an Australian thing. Maybe it's a Shannon thing. I don't know. Slightly runny, and I might have some lollies later. I'm not too sure yet. I think I've run out, but that will be dinner, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, so for dinner, we're having some meatloaf. So I accidentally left it in the oven for a bit longer than I should. My fault. But meatloaf, a little bit of broccoli on the side. That's what the meatloaf looks like. It's really good, really, really tasty. So I'll actually leave the link below for the recipe to download it if you would like to try it. And then this will be just a bit of tomato sauce. Yeah. And probably a little bit of salt. And that's pretty much it. Alright, and I ran out of lollies tonight, so I don't know if I'll be having anything. Maybe tomorrow. I think it's maybe the last day or second last day. But I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back, guys. So today my stomach's feeling really good. I don't feel nauseous, I dare say, at all. So I'm going to pretty much fast this morning. So Fasting is a tool, just helps you reduce your calories overall. I've been having very light breakfast, probably the last 1 to 2 days anyway. So this morning is just going to be coffee flavored sugar water, which is what everyone's calling it at the moment. So I'll have probably 2, maybe 3 of these, and then I'll probably have lunch maybe around 12 o'clock, maybe 1, and then these will usually carry me through till about that time. So I'm not really a morning person. I don't really eat food in the morning if I don't feel like it. So you can skip breakfast and you will be okay. You won't starve to death. All right, I'll see you in the next video. All right, so first main meal of the day is, it's about 2:30 p.m. Is just going to be a small tin of tuna, which is smoked infused in oil. I've got the calories to have oil, so people who have it with water, and we're gonna have just a little bit of rice. So usually we cook the rice for the dog for him to mix through his food, but I'll have a little bit, like maybe 2 or 3 sort of heaped tablespoons, and I'll mix that with the rice, and then I'll show you what that finished product looks like. All right, and there it is. So obviously you can put some dressings or seasonings on top of this. Sometimes I actually mix it with like a teriyaki dressing, and sort of just pour that on top. That's only a couple of extra calories. But with the rice and with the tuna, it's actually quite a bit. If I had to add more of something, I would probably add more tuna. So, depending on how hungry I am, if I feel like this isn't satisfying enough, I might add some extra tuna in, possibly. But I'm pretty sure this is going to be fine in terms of keeping me full all the way through till dinner. And that's it. Really simple lunch. This is sort of, the traditional bro bodybuilding food: chicken, rice, tuna, and rice. But it's actually quite tasty, especially with the smoked salmon. Gives it a little bit extra. Especially with the smoked tuna, gives it a little bit extra flavor. And that's it. All right, I'll see you in the next one. So dinner tonight is leftover meatloaf. We're pretty much at the end of the shop week, so we don't have any veggies, literally nothing. So just the meatloaf by itself, which I'm quite happy with. And I did have a snack earlier on today, but I wasn't able to record it, and that was just the salada with a piece of cheese. So it was pretty minimal. And that's pretty much it for the day. We've got no lollies, so I can't have any lollies after this either. But that will wrap up the dinner, and I'll see you in the next one. Morning guys, it's the last day, and today I'm going to be having 2 bananas for breakfast. Usual black coffee. I'll probably end up having 2, maybe even 3 of these. But yeah, my stomach's quite good today and I feel like having some fruit. So 2 bananas. These are actually sort of the kid-sized bananas. Usually the same thing every morning: bananas, piece of fruit, or like a muesli bar. And then tonight we're going to be having a barbecue dinner. So we're going to be having some chops, some chicken tenders, we've got some chicken breast, we've got some barbecue bacon in the freezer. So we'll take that out later and I'll show you what that looks like. So that's usually a high protein dinner. And then depending on what I have for lunch, I'll show you in the next video. Alright, so next meal of the day is just a fruit salad. So lychees, mango, strawberries, and I think that's it. Yes, Chloe made this for me, so I don't know what's in it, but I'll have this for lunch. I might have just like a Pepsi Max or so like that afterwards. And then there'll be a few more hours before dinner, which will probably be another 3, maybe 4 hours. And I'll see you in the next meal. And here is the meat. So just got some chicken tenders, steak, and a little bit of bacon. No veggies. I don't really feel like veggies, but you could have veggies on the side or a salad if you wanted to. So just like a normal barbecue. And then we've got some extra. Obviously Chloe will take from that whatever she feels like. And that would probably be about, I reckon, 500 calories, maybe a little bit more, just because of the steak's a little bit higher in fat, and the bacon obviously, even though it's the lean cut. But meat, chicken is pretty much going to make up the majority of your foods. And in terms of seasonings, just things like this Texas style rub. We also have like a steak seasoning, which is by Master Foods as well, which is really good. Experiment, so you can have chicken 7 nights a week and then have 7 different flavors, and it's going to make a huge difference. And that's pretty much it. If I have any snacks after this one, I'll show you in terms of the lollies, but that's it for dinner. Alright guys, that is the entire video, so I hope you found that helpful. If you did, again, remember, smash the like button, hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.